All right, Jared, thank you. Earlier this evening, the News Channel 3 I-team broke the news that some folks in Grandville and Walker want their cities to back out of the rapid bus system out of Grand Rapids altogether. Signatures will soon be collected in both areas in the hopes of putting a measure on the November ballot. It'll ask voters to consider phasing out property tax payments, potentially ending a long-standing relationship with the rapid. News Channel 3's chief investigative reporter David Bailey is breaking down what that means and why people are so angry after our Waste Watch I-team investigation.
Good evening. Earlier this evening, the I-team reported that an average of 6 people are riding buses paid for a millage passed by voters 1 year ago tonight. People in the GR metro area paying $1 million annually for more frequent evening bus service and longer night bus service. Now, as people in 2 cities now contemplate getting off the bus, we explain why there's so much discontent. For 3 miles, the I-team had its own private ride late in the evening last month. We used a cell phone camera to show how lonely it was. The few other passengers who took Route 1 that evening, the busiest in the GR system, by the way, were long gone while we were still riding. The I-team rode several buses in a week's time and pulled ridership numbers in through the Freedom of Information Act for an entire week in April to sample. The numbers we obtained indicated 80% of the Rapids late evening buses are carrying fewer than 10 people. 10 passengers means less than 15% capacity. Interestingly, 6% of trips sampled had 0 passengers, no use. We asked the Rapid CEO, Peter Varga, what he thought of what we found.
So you're saying you have no problem with empty buses? It's costing $70 per ride for taxpayers. That's what you charge to GVSU per hour. I mean, a lot of people say that's just flat out waste. Do you? Do you think that's wasteful?
We didn't get an answer. The silence, some critics argue, is what's causing distrust. For example, our numbers regarding sluggish evening ridership conflict with the Rapids' recent news release touting a double-digit jump in weekday evening ridership. Media agencies widely reported a 26.5% increase. Varga said in the release the evening ridership is making a, quote, an immediate positive impact. The I-team discovered the Rapids numbers were calculated by adding in student bus riders from GVSU and GRCC who aren't paying customers. Their schools take care of the bill. An executive at the Rapid admitted we were right, that the numbers in the release were misleading, yet Varga stood by what he said originally.
How can people trust that your numbers are real if there is some question as to what your ridership numbers really are?
The ridership numbers that we produce and put on our website are accurate numbers.
Jeff Steinport founded ITP Watch, a local watchdog organization leading the petition drive in Grandville and Walker.
They're very closed. They don't want people to ask how money is being spent. They actively prevent you when you do ask for that information.
There's a belief by some in the suburbs that Grand Rapids and East Grand Rapids have way too much power over the others. Also a belief the appointed board of directors isn't watching taxpayer money.
Their only interest is in expanding service regardless of the cost, and there's no one on that board questioning it.
News Channel 3 found if the ITP did lose Walker and Grandville, it might not matter financially to the Rapid. In our 101 interview with the chief executive officer of the Rapid, we asked about a surplus we found in budget documents for the ITP. Reports show a surplus of around $1 million this year as taxpayers spend $1 million this year for evening bus service improvements.
So do you have a surplus?
We're about out of time, so you want to wrap up.
I'm asking him a question. Do you have a surplus at the end of the year? You're the CEO of this organization.
We're not in a deficit.
Varga didn't confirm a surplus and abruptly stopped the interview, taking off while we were still rolling and searching for the truth.
Can you answer that question?
You all set?
That distant feeling, we had it at that point, and we had it as we rode that empty bus late at night, too. Of course, leaders at the Rapid publicly reported the inaccurate 26.5% increase in evening ridership on taxpayer money, but even after our questioning, didn't provide us with completed numbers to show what the real increase was for evening ridership for the new service funded by taxpayers. David Bailey, News Channel 3 I-team.